What if you could see your blind spots? Blind spots trip us up on our journey of love because the blind spots, by definition, we can't see what they are. We can't fix them if we're not aware of what they're doing. Let's talk about some of the habits that we have that are actually blind spots that could be sabotaging you trying to attract the love that you want. On a call recently, I had a client bring up, she was like, what are the blind spots that I have? How do I know what I'm doing that's working versus what's sabotaging me? And the challenge is so many women that I coach are probably just like you in the sense that you're open-hearted. You want to lead your life with generosity and kindness. You're a giver. And if that's naturally how you are, there might be some blind spots that you have when you're dating that you think are leading with generosity, kindness, love, but are actually backfiring because they fall under this, what we call this nice girl. We're calling these the nice girl habits that really, at the end of the day, aren't nice for you or him or your love life. And what they are actually doing is steering your love life into a ditch. So today we're going to look at 5 nice girl habits and how to shift them so that you can accelerate the rate at which you attract love into your life. So the first pattern or habit that you want to take a look at is if you cancel plans with your friends to accommodate his last minute invitation. Now there might be part of you that's saying, like, what? Like, I'm just being easygoing, right? I'm just being go with the flow. Men love that. I want someone who's easygoing and going with the flow. Now, be clear, we're not talking about you not having plans and just kind of hanging out and it totally fits within your schedule. This scenario is canceling plans that you've made with friends to go out with him. 3 really important things are at work with this dynamic. Number 1, you're impeding your relationship with your friends because you're teaching your friends that when something better comes along, you're going to cancel on them for that better opportunity, and that does not foster deeper relationships. The second thing that we want to pay attention to is you're teaching this guy that you're dating that his needs and wants trump your own. His plans are more important than your plans. And so you're reinforcing his behavior to, hey, I can send an invite out to this woman last minute and she'll be available. You're not teaching him to give you advance notice and to send you plans where you know what to expect and you can actually schedule it in. The second pattern that you want to shift is allowing him to play insult you even though deep down it hurts your feelings. Now, often this comes in the spirit of, hey, we want to be easygoing. I don't want to be so sensitive. I want to be able to be playful and be fun and be flirty. But if the way that he's playing, if the way that he's bantering with you or being flirty with you comes with little insults that ultimately leave you feeling down or leave you feeling hurt or sad or whatever it is, then you want to speak up and you want to maintain your boundaries. You see, contrary to popular belief, boundaries don't push people away. Boundaries actually create closeness. Think about that. Why would that be? Because when you're sharing with somebody your boundaries, you're sharing with them vulnerably. Here's what feels good to me and here's what doesn't. Here's where my line is as far as how to treat each other. And when he knows that about you, he knows you even deeper. A time that I learned this in a very, very powerful way with my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, is I grew up in a family where we teased and we roughhoused. There was a lot of physical wrestling and playing, and that was just part of what we thought was fun. And so we go to Olive Garden for one of these dates, and on our way out of Olive Garden, we're kind of teasing and bantering and having fun and using our words. And then on the way walking out of the doors, I kind of like jump to the side and I kick her in the butt. And I think that's really fun. Like, that's the way we could play together. Yeah, she was not having it. And she stopped it right there. She was like, oh, no, you didn't. I do not play like that. I don't want that. I don't accept that. Never kick me in the butt like that again. And I was like, okay, I get it. I get the message. Now, she could have maybe been a little bit softer in her approach, but needless to say, it was highly effective. I knew where the line was. I knew where the boundary was, and I respected her for owning her boundary, setting her standard for how we want to play together. So if you notice that he's playing or flirting or having fun in a way that doesn't feel good to you, not saying anything actually creates distance between the two of you. Saying something, holding your boundary, that's what creates closeness. The third habit that you want to really be careful of is changing your personality to fit his mood. And this comes from the kind-hearted part of ourselves where we want people to feel comfortable. We want them to feel good around us. But the challenge is if you're shifting your personality because they're unhappy or it's going to make them feel better, then you're actually compromising your way of being in the world for them. Great relationships where both people can coexist and really be themselves. You've got a particular personality that's unique to you, and you want to let it shine. You want to express it. You want to be the fullness of yourself. And chances are there have been times in your life, I know there's been times in mine, where we are around people, whether it's teachers or whether it's parents or whether it's the people taking care of us, that are telling us not to express ourselves. You're being too loud. Sit down, be quiet, you're disturbing other people, so on and so forth. And so we learn to mute ourselves, to dial ourselves down as children. Maybe you've been in a relationship where you're talking too loud and the person you're with is like, you're really over the top right now. Like, you need to bring it down. And so you mute yourself, you dial yourself down. Or you have a particular laugh, or when you really love something, you laugh and you're big, and the person's like, yeah, never laugh like that again. Like, that's so unattractive. You would be amazed at what people do to try to create control in relationships. You really want to watch for, is this person really just asking for a need they have, or are they trying to control you and your personality? Because what you want is someone who's willing to unleash you to this world. Let me give you an example of how if you stay in an environment that doesn't support who you really are, how it can begin to eat away at your happiness and your own self-esteem. There was a phase where I had to shift my personality to have the success that I wanted. You see, I'm a naturally very big energy guy. Like, I love to have fun. I love to laugh. I'm really animated. I bring the energy. It's probably why bringing this content to you, this has gone so big, because of that kind of energy. In my early 20s, I had a job as a timeshare salesperson down in Mexico. And in sales, my energy being real big and enthusiastic like that was working against me. Like, I wasn't selling. And my mentor at the time told me, Matt, you really got to tone it down. Like, dial yourself. You're at a 10 right now. You need to be at a 2. Be quiet. Don't say much. Really just sit back, kind of let them do all the talking. And like, you just put on a personality where you're super shy. And so I was like, well, I'm not selling anything anyway, so let me try that. And so I did. I put on this like really shy personality, and I was like acting like I was shy, like I was really timid, and it was crazy. It worked. And I started selling like gangbusters. And so when I would get to work, I'd put on this personality of shy and timid. And I was making all this money and selling. But then something crazy started to happen. Outside of work, I noticed that my personality was beginning to shift. Outside of work, I found myself more shy, more timid. Outside of work, I found myself less happy, less myself, because I was betraying myself. I started to fall into this depression. Even though I was selling, I was feeling more and more sad, because ultimately, when you betray yourself, your levels of happiness plummet. And so I realized I've got to shift careers. I've got to get out of this and into something that I was born to do, which is to teach and mentor and coach. And so I launched my coaching business and left. And lo and behold, my natural personality is a perfect fit for what I'm called to do. Here's the point. Your natural personality is a perfect fit for your perfect partner. If someone doesn't like the way you laugh, if someone doesn't love the way you are, when it's who you are, your natural personality, they are not the right fit for you. Shine your authentic light and let those who are meant to be with you come your way. Now, the fourth habit that you want to eliminate is allowing yourselves to get physical or sexual before you're comfortable. You see, there's this myth that says, if you don't have sex when he wants to have sex, then you're going to possibly lose this great guy. And it's actually the opposite that's true. You see, sex doesn't create closeness for men. Men don't equate sex with emotional connection. Those two things don't go in hand. Now, I will say, and this is where the confusion comes in, that once the two of you are committed to each other, in other words, you're committed to growing the relationship, you're exclusive with one another, you've decided you're going to be partners with one another. It doesn't have to be married, but it does need to be this level of commitment. When that's the case, then sex does create closeness and more emotional connection in a man. Now, know this, if there's at all the fear or the thought that, well, if I make him wait, he might not want to be with me, he might get impatient, he might go choose somebody else. Know this, that wasn't the right guy. That was the wrong guy. You want to scare off the wrong guys faster to attract the right guy faster. The right guy is going to understand. The right guy is going to be patient. I was just coaching a woman in our Manifest Your Man coaching program this last week, and she was like, Matt, I've watched a ton of your videos. I know how you always say, be willing to scare off the wrong guy to attract the right guy. And I was nervous because we've been dating for a couple months and we want to have sex, but I'm making this guy wait because I'm just not comfortable yet. And he said the most beautiful thing to me. He said to me, I'm totally willing to go at your pace. I want you to feel fully comfortable. I want you to feel fully ready. There's no rush. She goes, I felt like this whole sense of peace wash over me. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this is 100% evidence that I'm on track with the right guy. This is the best relationship I've had in my entire life. And we're just 2 months into this. It was perfect evidence that saying the right guy is 100% going to be on your timeline with you, and he will respect that. Now, I want to speak to the part of you that if you're the type of person where you're thinking, Matt, I just want to have fun. I'm in this sexual, adventurous stage of my life, and I'm not looking for a committed relationship. I want to just have fun. Then more power to you. This habit is saying yes before you're comfortable, bending your standards to accommodate his needs. That's what you don't want to do. What you want to do is speak your standards and let the right guy raise his game to the level of what you would love. And number 5 is forgiving him without making an agreement for better behavior. Forgiveness is necessary in relationships. We all make mistakes. We all screw up. There's going to be a lot of forgiving and healing in any kind of relationship. But what makes relationships work is trust. And trust is formed through making and keeping agreements. If he screws up, he hurts your feelings with something that he says, or he doesn't show up when he says he's going to show up, or he kicks your butt while walking out of the Olive Garden, and you state your boundaries with that. If he just says he's sorry, that's not enough for fostering a really healthy relationship and creating a new outcome. And where the nice girl habit comes in, it's like, oh, thank you for saying you're sorry, and that's okay. People say they're sorry, you're like, oh, that's okay. That's the wrong response to an apology. A way better response to an apology is when someone says they're sorry, you say thank you, and let's create a new agreement moving forward. He says he's sorry. Thank you for saying sorry for being late. And let's create a new agreement. When we make a time to be there, we're both going to be on time. Are you in for that? Hey, thank you for saying sorry for kicking my butt on the way out of Olive Garden. And let's create a new agreement that we're not play fighting like that because it doesn't feel good to me. And I'm like, good, that sounds great. So instead of saying it's okay and giving him a pass on that behavior, instead say thank you and create a new agreement. So if you notice, all of these behaviors, all 5 have one common theme through each one of them. And that is that instead of just being easygoing and go with the flow, when something's uncomfortable for you or there's a rattle for you, that you speak up and you let him know. And what's beautiful about this is this actually creates closeness between the two of you. So my question for you are, what are your best practices when you're maintaining your boundaries? What really helps you? I'd love to read those. Go ahead and share those in the comment section below. Here's to your amazing love life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.